Hi guys, I'm Jess. Welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be making this little baby hat on the Sentro 40-pin knitting machine. Once you start making hats on your Sentro knitting machine, you are never going to want to go back to hand knitting ever again because they are just so easy. They turn out super cute, and this is just a great way to make little hats for little babies in your life. Let's go ahead and dive right in. So first things first, you're going to want to make sure your Sentro is set to tube mode instead of panel mode so that we can knit in the round. And for a baby size hat, I'm using my 40 peg Sentro knitting machine. I'm going to make my slip knot and thread the machine. If you have never threaded a machine before, go ahead and watch my previous video, which kind of just shows you the basics of how the Sentro knitting machine works. We're going to put the thread on the starting peg. My cat is going to, of course, attack the yarn. Please move. And we're going to thread the machine. All right, now that we're back at the beginning, I'm going to thread the yarn through there. I'm going to put it in the first tension hook holder, and we begin cranking. We are going to work 120 rows for a child-size hat. 40 peg machine does not have a built-in stitch counter, so what I like to do is use an app on my phone, and every time you get to the black peg, you just tap on the app to add another row. Or if you want, you can just crank a whole bunch, count the rows as you go, and just start keeping track once you get to the end, because 120 rows is quite a lot. If your arm ever gets tired from cranking, you can always purchase one of these little drill attachments, which fits on to the side here, and use a drill to turn the crank. You just have to be careful to not do it too fast because you don't want to wear out the crank on your machine. All right, I'm just going to stop and check my stitch count real quick and see where I'm at, because I have not been keeping track this whole time. All right, it's a good thing I stopped to check because I'm at about 110 stitches. Obviously for a hat, it doesn't matter to be precise, so I'm just going to hand crank out the last 10 rows. All right. I'm back to the beginning here with my starter peg. To cast off the machine, what you want to do is cut a tail of about a foot. That'll be plenty long enough. Hold the tail from your starting peg and crank around one time. Then once you get back here to your starting peg, don't crank all the way over because these stitches will start to pop off. Next, what you're going to want to do is take this long needle that came with your Sentro kit, thread it with the yarn tail. And you're going to use this to pick up the stitches. I like to hold my finger down on top of the next stitch so that it doesn't pop off. Once you've taken your work completely off of your machine, you can pull the needle through. And we are going to pull it tight here at the top, cinch the top. I also kind of like to just tug my fabric a little bit, kind of stretch it all out, stretch out the stitches. Once you've cinched the top, then you're going to want to knot this closed Kind of like to go through a few times to sew the hole closed. Then what I usually do when I'm ready to knot it is pull the needle through to the inside of the fabric, because this is a double knit hat, so there will be an inside that we can hide the yarn ends in. So I like to pull it through, turn the work inside out, kind of pull it here, and then just knot it here on the inside, just like this. I usually knot that twice. And then you can cut your tail a little shorter. This is going to be the inside of your hat, so it's okay if there's a little bit of a tail remaining. Turn your work right side out again. And go to the bottom of your hat. Find your tail. Since I did a slip knot to start my project off on the Sentro, I just need to untie that knot. It's pretty loose, so I just got to kind of pull the thread through. Just gonna untie that slip knot. And then what I'm gonna do is just pull the yarn tight, and we're gonna cinch this end the same way we cinched the top end. So we just pull it tight. Cinch the top so that it looks nice and clean. Then I'm going to thread my needle again. And we are going to sew this hole closed. What we're going to do to make this hat is we're going to take the bottom end of the hat here, and we're kind of just going to fold it in. Until your hat is folded in with the knitting on both sides. What we're going to do next is attach the inside layer of the hat to the top here. So we don't want the hat falling apart, you know, the inside coming out. So what I like to do is just insert my hook, and you kind of just have to feel from the inside where to insert it through. Pull the yarn down. And just kind of sew the top two pieces of the hat, the inside lining and the outside, together a couple of times to make sure the hat retains its shape. So I just like to do that 2 or 3 times, make sure it's secure. Now, if you are not going to be adding a pom-pom to your hat, you can just tie this yarn off and kind of weave in the yarn ends to the inside of the hat. I personally like to always add a pom-pom on the top of my hat, so I'm going to leave the tail for now. But then all you need to do is fold your brim up, and there you've got your child-size hat. I'm going to show you guys how I like to add a pom-pom to the top of these. I got these pom-poms on Amazon, and I will link them below. But I like to get these pom-poms that have a little loop attached. So all you have to do is go through the loop, kind of sew it down onto the top of your hat. And I like to just sew through the loop a couple of times just to make sure that it's secure. It can be kind of hard to find it sometimes, not on all that fluff. There we go. All right, once that pom-pom is securely attached, then you're just going to tie off your yarn and weave in your yarn ends. Thank you so much for tuning into today's video. I hope that you enjoyed it. I hope you love your new little baby hat for the little one in your life. These make great gifts. They're also just great to dress up your own little babies in lots of cute little hats. Keep them warm in the winter. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button and subscribe. I'll be putting out a lot more videos about Sentro knitting, hand knitting, crochet, sewing, all kinds of fun DIY stuff. Thanks for watching.